Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm Mike, and we're ready to get started.
Absolutely. I'm Karen, and I'm excited for this one.
Me too. So today we're going to be taking a look at mistake number 14, why failing to upsell and cross-sell limits your revenue potential.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and this is part of a blog series that we've been looking at. It's called 50 Mistakes, Why Most Hotels Fail and How You Can Succeed by Arun Kumar Raman.
Yes, Arun's work is so insightful for hotel owners, especially in India.
I agree. And this mistake that he points out, failing to upsell and cross-sell, it's something that I think a lot of hotel owners kind of struggle with.
Definitely, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of running a hotel and overlook those extra revenue streams.
Right. You're so focused on getting those rooms booked that you forget about all the other ways that you can enhance the guest experience and boost your profits.
Exactly. And that's what Arun really highlights in this blog post. He talks about how so many hoteliers are leaving money on the table by not taking advantage of upselling and cross-selling opportunities.
Okay, so let's break this down. What exactly do we mean by upselling and cross-selling, and how does it apply specifically to hotels?
Sure. So upselling is essentially encouraging a guest to purchase a higher price or upgraded version of what they've already chosen, like suggesting a suite instead of a standard room.
Got it. So it's about moving them up to a higher level of service or amenity.
Exactly. And then cross-selling is suggesting additional products or services that complement what the guest has already purchased.
Okay, so give me an example of that in a hotel setting.
Sure. So let's say a guest has booked a standard room. Cross-selling could be offering them a dining package at one of your hotel restaurants or maybe tickets to a local attraction.
Ah, I see. So it's about bundling those extra experiences to make their stay more enjoyable and, of course, generate more revenue for the hotel.
Precisely. And what's great about this approach is that it's not just about squeezing more money out of guests. It's about genuinely enhancing their experience and making their stay more memorable.
I like that. It's a win-win situation.
Mm,
Guests get more value out of their trip, and the hotel benefits financially.
absolutely.
All right.
Now, Arun doesn't just point out the problem in his blog, he also provides a very practical four-step system to help hotel owners implement effective upselling and cross-selling strategies.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about the system. What's the first step?
Well, the first step is all about identifying the opportunities. What unique upgrades or packages can your hotel offer that would genuinely enhance a guest's stay?
So it's about looking at your hotel, your location, and thinking outside the box to come up with those special extras that will make guests say, wow, I have to have that.
Exactly. And it's important to think beyond just the obvious room upgrades. Consider things like special dining experiences, curated local tours, maybe even wellness activities tailored to your region.
Okay, so step one is about figuring out what you have to offer that's truly special and desirable.
Exactly. And then step two is all about training your staff.
Ah, so this is where the rubber meets the road.
It really is. Your staff are the ones who are interacting with guests on a daily basis, so they need to be equipped to confidently suggest those add-ons and upgrades.
Right. It can't just be a matter of saying, hey, do you want to pay more for this? They need to be able to articulate the value of those extras and tailor their recommendations to each guest's specific needs and interests.
That's so important. It's not about being pushy. It's about being a helpful advisor, understanding what the guest is looking for, and then suggesting ways to enhance their experience.
So step two is all about empowering your staff to become expert recommenders.
Precisely. Now, step three is where technology comes into play.
Okay, this is interesting. How can technology help with upselling and cross-selling?
Well, think about all the digital touch points you have with guests before, during, and even after their stay.
You've got the hotel website, booking confirmation emails,
Mhm.
pre-arrival messages, social media.
Exactly. All of these channels can be used to showcase your unique offerings and plant the seeds for upselling and cross-selling.
So instead of just sending a generic booking confirmation email, you could use it to highlight those special packages or upgrades that might interest the guest.
Right. You can personalize those messages based on the guest's booking details, travel dates, even their past preferences.
Ah, that's smart. So if someone has booked a romantic getaway for their anniversary, you could tempt them with a couple's massage or a private dining experience on the beach.
Exactly. And then during their stay, you can use digital signage in the hotel lobby or even in-room tablets to promote those additional services or experiences.
So it's about using technology to create a seamless and engaging experience that keeps those upselling and cross-selling opportunities top of mind for the guest.
Precisely. And then finally, step four is about making the whole process effortless for the guest.
Okay, so what do we mean by that?
Well, it's about ensuring that purchasing those upgrades or add-ons is as smooth and hassle-free as possible.
Right, no one wants to deal with a complicated checkout process or hidden fees.
Exactly. Keep those upgrades easy to understand and even easier to purchase. You can offer online booking options, mobile payment solutions, whatever makes it convenient for the guest.
So step 4 is all about streamlining the transaction and removing any barriers to purchase.
Precisely. And when you put all four steps together, you create a system that not only boosts your hotel's revenue, but also enhances the guest experience and builds loyalty.
This is fantastic, Aaron. It sounds like Arun's system is really a game changer for hotels looking to unlock their hidden revenue potential.
It absolutely is. And the best part is that it's adaptable to any hotel, regardless of size or budget.
Okay, so we've got the system down, but let's talk about some real-world examples. Arun mentions a boutique hotel in Kerala that saw a 25% revenue increase in just 3 months by implementing these strategies.
Right. That's a pretty impressive result.
It is. So what were they doing specifically that made such a big impact?
Well, the blog highlights how they really personalized their approach. They took the time to understand each guest's needs and interests and then tailored their recommendations accordingly.
Okay, so it wasn't just a matter of blindly offering upgrades, they were strategic about it.
Exactly. For example, if it was a honeymoon couple checking in, they might suggest a romantic suite with a private balcony and a bottle of champagne.
Oh, that's a nice touch.
Or if it was a family, they might recommend connecting rooms or a package that includes access to a kids club.
So they were really thinking about what would make each guest stay extra special.
Precisely. And it wasn't just about the rooms. They also trained their restaurant staff to suggest special dining experiences like the chef's tasting menu or a candlelit dinner on the beach.
Okay, so they were incorporating upselling and cross-selling opportunities throughout the entire guest journey.
Exactly. And the concierge went beyond just handing out brochures. They actually curated personalized itineraries based on each guest's interests, suggesting local tours activities, even wellness retreats.
Wow, they really went above and beyond to create those wow moments.
They did, and the guests loved it. It made their stay truly memorable, and of course, it had a positive impact on the hotel's bottom line.
I can see why this approach was so successful. It's all about creating that personalized and elevated experience that today's travelers are looking for.
Exactly. And it's something that any hotel in India, regardless of size or budget, can implement.
I think this is a great place to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more insights from Arun's blog.
Sounds good. I'm excited to dive deeper into this topic. And you know what's really great about Arun's approach?
What's that?
It's not about, squeezing every last rupee out of your guests.
Right.
It's about genuinely, making their experience better,
Yeah.
which then leads to, higher revenue naturally.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
You're not trying to trick anyone.
No.
You're just trying to give them an amazing experience.
Right. And Arun actually, he emphasizes that you don't need, fancy technology to start doing this.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Like simple things, just having your front desk staff ask a couple of key questions during check-in can make a huge difference.
Okay, what kind of questions are we talking about here?
Well, let's say you have a family checking in.
Okay.
The staff could just casually ask, so is this your first time visiting Kerala? Or are there any activities like you're particularly excited about trying during your stay? And based on their answers, they can then seamlessly suggest, relevant upgrades or experiences.
So it's all about being observant, listening to the guest's needs, and then, offering those personalized recommendations.
Exactly. And I know what some of you might be thinking right now. You might be thinking, well, won't guests feel pressured if we're constantly trying to upsell them?
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. No one wants to feel like they're being bombarded with sales pitches.
Right. And Arun addresses this directly in his blog.
Okay.
He really stresses that upselling shouldn't feel forced or pushy.
Right.
It's all about offering genuine value and making the guest feel like they're getting those insider tips to make their stay even better.
It's more like, being a helpful friend or a trusted advisor than a salesperson.
Exactly. It's about building that rapport with the guest and, making them feel like you genuinely care about their experience.
And isn't that what true hospitality is all about?
It really is.
I think it's important to talk about staff training here.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, even with the best intentions, if your team isn't properly trained, those upselling attempts can backfire and leave a bad taste in the guest's mouth.
Oh, for sure. Staff training is paramount. Arun actually dedicates an entire section of his blog to this.
Okay.
He talks about the importance of not only educating your staff about, the different upgrades and packages that are available,
Yeah.
but also giving them the confidence and the communication skills to present those options effectively.
So it's not just about memorizing a script. It's about truly understanding the value
Mm,
of each offering
right.
and being able to convey that value to the guest in a way that feels authentic and engaging.
Yeah, it's about, painting a picture, telling a story, and really connecting with the guest on an emotional level.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the role of technology in all of this.
Okay.
Because, we live in a digital world, and I imagine there are some clever ways that technology can be used to streamline and enhance those upselling efforts.
Absolutely. Technology can be a game changer when it comes to upselling. Think
Hmm.
about your hotel website, for example.
Yeah.
Are you showcasing, your unique offerings in a visually appealing and compelling way?
Right.
High quality photos, enticing descriptions, even virtual tours can make a huge difference in piquing a guest's interest before they even arrive.
So it's about creating that digital curb appeal.
Exactly. That makes guests, want to explore all the amazing experiences that your hotel has to offer.
And don't forget about those pre-arrival emails.
Oh, yeah.
They're not just for sending booking confirmations.
Right. Use them to introduce guests to those enticing upgrades and packages.
Yeah.
Personalize those emails based on their booking details, their travel dates, even their past preferences.
So if someone booked a romantic getaway, you could tempt them with a couples massage or a private dining experience on the beach?
Exactly. And let's not forget about social media. Use platforms like Instagram and Facebook to showcase your unique offerings.
Yeah.
Highlight, those wow moments and create a buzz around those special experiences.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of staff training and leveraging technology.
Yeah.
But what about pricing?
Oh, that's a crucial question.
How do you find that sweet spot where the price feels right for both the guest and the hotel?
Well, Arun suggests looking at it from the perspective of perceived value.
Okay,
If the upgrade offers, significant benefits and enhances the guest's experience in a meaningful way, you can justify a higher price point.
right.
But it's also important to consider your competitors' pricing strategies
Yeah.
and the overall market dynamics in your region.
Right. It's all about finding that balance between being competitive and maximizing your revenue potential.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to experiment with different pricing models.
Okay.
You can offer tiered pricing options, package deals, even limited time promotions to create a sense of urgency and incentivize guests to upgrade.
Now let's talk about some potential challenges that hotels might face when implementing these strategies.
Sure.
One concern I often hear is the fear of alienating guests by being too pushy. How do you strike that delicate balance between being proactive and respecting the guest's space?
That's a valid concern, and it goes back to what we discussed earlier about training your staff to be more like hospitality advisors than salespeople.
Right.
It's about reading the guests' cues, being attentive to their needs, and offering suggestions only when it feels appropriate and genuine.
So it's about being sensitive to the guest's mood and the context of the situation.
Exactly. For example, imagine a guest checking in after a long delayed flight.
Oh, yeah.
They're clearly exhausted and just want to get to their room.
Right.
This might not be the best time to launch into a detailed explanation of all your upgrade options.
Read the room, so to speak.
Exactly. Maybe a simple, just so you know, we do have some lovely rooms with balcony views available if you're interested, would suffice.
So it's about being observant and tactful in your approach.
Absolutely. And remember, upselling shouldn't be a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing opportunity throughout the guest's stay. Your restaurant staff, your concierge, even your housekeeping team can all play a role in creating those wow moments that lead to happy guests and increased revenue.
So it's about weaving upselling into the fabric of the guest experience, making it a natural and enjoyable part of their stay.
Exactly. And when done right, it's a win-win for everyone. Guests get a more personalized and memorable experience, and the hotel thrives.
This has been such an insightful conversation, Karen. I feel like, Arun's blog has given us a whole new perspective on this.
I agree. It's, like you said earlier, it's potential that's often hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that these strategies, they're not just for, big luxury hotels.
Right.
Even smaller independent properties in India can adapt these principles and see a real impact.
Absolutely. They can.
Arun actually shares a really compelling story in his blog about a heritage hotel in Rajasthan.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
They were struggling to compete with, all these newer, more modern hotels that were popping up.
Yeah, right. They were losing market share. Their occupancy rates were dropping.
Even though they had this beautiful historic property with so much charm.
It's a shame.
So what did they do to turn things around?
Well, they really took Arun's advice to heart.
Okay.
And they focused on creating, those unique experiential stays.
I like that.
They leaned into their heritage, offering guided tours of the property, highlighting its historical significance.
Okay.
And they even started organizing like traditional Rajasthani folk dance performances in the
So
evenings.
they found a way to turn what some might perceive as a weakness, being an older property,
Yeah,
into a strength, by
exactly.
really emphasizing their unique history and cultural heritage.
And it worked.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
What else did they do?
Well, they also started offering cooking classes
Oh, nice.
where guests could learn to make authentic Rajasthani dishes.
Love that.
And they partnered with local artisans to showcase their crafts in the hotel's lobby.
So it became less about just, a place to sleep and more about, immersing yourself in the local culture and traditions.
Exactly, creating those authentic experiences that travelers are looking for.
And the results speak for themselves. Their occupancy rates rebounded. They started attracting a whole new type of traveler.
It's amazing what a little creativity and focus can do.
Okay, so we've talked about the strategies, the real-world examples,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to address the elephant in the room.
What's that?
Some hotel owners might be hesitant to implement these ideas,
I understand that.
maybe thinking it's, too much work or they don't have the resources.
I get it. But honestly, even small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to overhaul your entire operation overnight.
Right.
Start with one or two things. Maybe focus on training your front desk staff to ask those key questions, or, revamp your website to better showcase your unique offerings.
But it's about taking those baby steps
Exactly.
and building momentum over time.
And remember, every guest interaction is an opportunity.
That's a good point.
Whether it's the bellhop offering to carry luggage to the room, the waiter suggesting a special dessert, or the concierge recommending a local attraction, each touch point can contribute to a more memorable and potentially higher revenue stay.
It's like a ripple effect,
Yeah.
where those small, personalized interactions create a wave of positive experiences
I love that analogy.
that ultimately benefit both the guest and the hotel.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, Karen, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure, Mike, and I hope our listeners feel inspired to take action and unlock their hotel's hidden revenue potential.
For those of you listening, remember, it's not about being pushy, it's about creating value. Think about what makes your hotel unique. Empower your team and start creating those wow moments that will have your guests singing your praises and coming back for more. Until next time, keep exploring those opportunities and keep diving deep.